I don't think there was the time when I wasn't smoking. All right, hey, we're live because it's Tuesday night, and that's what we do. We live on Tuesday. Tagtheandroids.com/live. You can watch us there with a chat room, a real-time chat room. Technology, right? I mean, come on. All right. F it. Let's just do this.
For centuries, we've been warned about little green men.
Now, they are coming. They're coming for you. Run. But first,
Shut your windows!
hide your apples. Prepare for the attack of the android. And now, your host and the human leader of the Android Underground, Matt Lee.
Dun, 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 dun. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, May 6th, 2014. This is episode number 123 of Attack of the Androids. Every week, Tuesday night, right here, attackoftheandroids.com. Check it out. Matt Lee, that kid right there, looking like the Grim Reaper himself, Eric Finkenbeiner. What's up, man?
Not much. Just staying alive.
Nice. Boogie Nights, right? Nick Carroll also joining us. What's up, Nick?
Glad to be awake. Glad to be with you guys.
Glad to have you awake with us. We're going to take bets and see how long you last before you're just, like, out in that chair. Also, Shane Brady, back again. What's up, man?
Hey, guys.
Good to have you back. Is this 2 episodes in a row?
No, I Sethed it last week, so
That's true.
2
You
or
did-
3 weeks.
You did Seth it. It was pretty graceful, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of Sething before, but you Sethed it, like, really gracefully, so props for that. Let's see, what do you guys want to talk about first? All sorts of interesting Android news. Eric, you want to start us off with the Nexus 10S stuff? I'm not suffering these random freezing reboots, and I believe I'm on 442. Are you?
Yeah. I bought this for Melissa last... No, it was launched. That'd be the Christmas before last. And she's just having so many problems with, like, freezes. It's mainly freezes, but some random reboots. So I started Googling, as one does, for the answer, and I found a lot of people complaining about this exact same thing. And the link that I threw into the show notes is somebody, and this was just posted 3 hours ago-ish, they had called Google, like the Nexus support, and they told them to go into safe mode. I did not know this existed, but it certainly
On
does.
Windows? Yeah, no, Android has, like, kind of a little... It's almost like a... it's been so long, I don't even remember what it's called. The Clockwork mod. It's like a little thing, and you can turn safe mode on, and then it just, like, loads nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. In stock, if you do safe mode, like I'm running Cyanogen, I don't know if it'll work, but when you if you hold down the power button and you get this like power off screen, if you press and hold, yeah, then it'll see it doesn't work here. So on stock, if you press and hold power off, it will say that you're going to be booted in safe mode, and it means that nothing except for Google stuff will load.
Whoa!
Nothing.
Whoa, it totally did it. Do you want to reboot into safe mode? This will disable all third-party apps you have installed. They will be restored when you reboot again. Huh. I did not know that. Thank you.
I feel like they could have called it something different because safe
Yeah.
mode just evokes like some really negative emotions for me.
That's exactly what it is, right? When you boot Windows into safe mode, it's like, do you want the prompt or do you want a little networking and like...
Would you like safe mode with networking on your Android?
like 8-bit graphics with your
At
safe
least-
mode?
At least you know what it is. When they say safe mode, you're like, oh yeah, I immediately know what this is going to entail.
Right,
So-
see, we have no idea what we're talking about, and we basically guessed what it was, and
Yeah.
right.
Well, I will say this, Eric. On my Nexus 7, I've had something like this occur twice in the last, not in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but about a month period of time before that. It would just, it's like it would go to sleep and like wouldn't wake up, and you'd have to hard reset it or just let it power down, before I could reuse it. But it's like, did I actually shut it off? No, I didn't shut it off, but now it's not responding to me, and the screen's off. So that's what has happened to me, and I've got a Nexus 7. So
I
it may
think
not be,
you guys are just not patient enough. But sometimes it'll do that, and you gotta like wait. And if you outwait it, it will usually come back on. Or what I've also found is if you like swipe where the swipe to unlock would be, sometimes if you wait a minute, it'll do its thing. And see, I just attributed that to the Nexus 10 just being old and full of crap, and I assume that once I flash it, it'll be back to its original snappy self. But I don't know. Maybe you got some bunk hardware.
it could be.
Is it possible that Nexus 10 is getting old too?
That's what I was thinking, right? Like I've had this thing for a good minute now, and
Yeah, but why would it getting old have anything to do with, like, in the normal course of using an app, like in Chrome? So she's in Chrome, she taps on the address bar to type in an address, the keyboard does not pop up, the entire thing freezes.
Eric,
That doesn't make any damn sense.
it's getting old.
It's old. Nothing
Old
changed.
flash? It could be cheap flash memory.
The memory is getting old, and when memory gets old, you
Oh,
forget it. You're gonna experience the same
What?
thing. You will experience
Not true.
the same thing.
That's right, Tim. Bob,
When you're old.
Jake.
have her flash it, or actually, when she booted it in safe mode, was it better?
I mean, that's what it's running on now, so we'll see. I just thought it was sort of odd that, just based on solely what this person is saying, that the representative admitted that there were problems with, people calling in with Nexus 10s and having these issues, but the solution, if you will, was put it into safe mode, which
Forever?
I get it. Trying to rule out. Maybe put it into safe mode, and if it never happens again, then it was some crappy junk app that you had.
Yeah, one thing you might do is just uninstall things you really don't think you need as well. If it's working just fine in safe mode for a while, just start going through the apps you have installed and maybe remove something. So
I'm just
Something-
surprised
Yeah,
It's just weird. I figured I'd throw it out there.
What, Shane?
I'm just surprised the Nexus 10 is still being sold.
You got it on eBay. You didn't get that at Walmart, right? I mean, you got that on eBay or something.
yeah, it's not sold on the Play Store anymore, but at least recently it hasn't been. So if you did get it, you'd have to get it from like Office Max, Office Depot, Walmart, whatever, Staples.
Well, I think I threw in the community this past week. There was a really good sale on the Nexus 10. I believe that's what it was, and it was I think it was under 300. Like, it was well under 300. It's a really good tablet. But Shane, to your point, if they're using really cheap flash memory, like if there's a physical problem that will just keep getting worse with age, yeah, maybe it's not a good buy anymore.
I don't think it's the hardware itself, though. I think it's a problem with Android, and over time, it's not fully releasing all of the memory. And you notice, if you wipe it, it will seem faster. Maybe it's in your head, but I think wiping it's getting rid of a bunch of junk that somewhere or something is not getting rid of. And as it slowly over time builds up, Galaxy Nexus did the same thing, And as soon as you flash it, you put a new ROM on it. It's not just because the ROM is made better. I mean, that is some of it, but a lot of it is you're doing a clean flash. You're wiping everything.
Right, but if you remember, there also was an issue with Android for a while that if the Nexus 7, there was something with the way the flash was being flushed or something like that. It was just getting slower and slower over time. So if that, I just think that they've used cheap components in some of these devices that don't hold up over time, and so you get. When you are reflashing and thinking it's faster, it probably means you just are using less of the disk.
Right, until over time you gradually fill that up more, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's an operating system problem. I don't think this isn't Windows where there's a huge registry that gets clogged and stuff like that. It doesn't work like that. I mean, it's Linux underneath.
True, true. And it is flash memory, and maybe, I mean, you know how flash memory works, right, with the drips and the electron, and over time, you do that enough times, it doesn't work anymore. Maybe they are just using really crappy chips to get the price down enough, and they don't expect you, I mean, they expect it like a phone, right? You're going to have it for 2 years, max.
Yeah, my wife has...
Drop it or break it or something.
My wife has the original iPad, and you can see it, you know, despite the fact she really just plays solitaire and uses the Kindle app, you know, it's slowing down over time as well.
Maybe this is planned obsolescence at its finest, most underlying layer of just a slow degradation of the physical hardware itself. If you hold on to your phone long enough, it will disappear into dust. I'm high. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
You used a lot of big words there.
Maybe it's this. Maybe you got bit by the new Android malware Trojan Kohler. This thing, it's like a crypto locker, but for your phone. And granted, they haven't gotten into the guts of it enough to say if it's actually like crypto locker, where the crypto is completely impervious, like pay them or hope you had a backup somewhere. But it does lock your device in a way that, like, you can't use any apps, you can't do anything until you pay them about $300, of course, using untraceable things like PaySafeCard or Ucash. So that's kind of interesting, I thought. Malware, ransomware on your phone saying attention, and it gets your IP so it knows what country you're in, and it tailors it based to that, and it says attention, your phone has been blocked up for safety reasons listed below. All the actions performed on this phone are fixed. All your files are encrypted. Conducted audio and video. You are accused of viewing, storage, and or dissemination of banned pornography, etc. Of course, child porn, zoophilia, rape, etc. You have violated World Declaration on Non-Proliferation of Child Pornography. You are accused of committing the crime envisaged by Article 161 of the United States of America Criminal Law. Like, you see that and you're going to be like, oh, what did I click on?
Right, but you still have to install the app manually, right? That's the thing.
Yes.
You don't get this in the Play Store.
No, what happens is you go to a porn site, it automatically downloads the APK, and then you have to check all those little boxes that say allow for out of market installation. It installs a video player, and then it does all this nasty crap to your phone.
Yeah, it basically says, hey, install this video player so you can view all of our content, and then you're toast.
It says it's automatically downloaded. They say that the main component is this browser view that basically will stay on top of all the apps, and that's you're stuck at that point. I guess
so
you
just
could
like every other.
Could you boot into safe mode, assuming that the files are not encrypted, because they don't know yet? I'm being real here. You could boot into safe mode, which would disable the third-party app, right? You could go in there using, hopefully, the safe mode file manager or whatever, and delete it. Yeah?
Yeah, but isn't it automatically encrypting once you install
they
it?
don't know. It may just be a flaky scare you thing. Nobody's gotten into the guts. They say that the functions have been obfuscated to slow down analyzing how it works. So nobody knows yet, as of right now. They may, but they say they're not sure if it encrypts anything on the storage. It just shows you this browser that stays on top of your apps and doesn't let you. It says you can press home and go to the home screen, but then a timer brings it back in about 5 seconds. The guy from Bitdefender, Bogdan Botsu, he said he managed to uninstall it manually by swiftly going to applications and dragging the icon on the uninstall control, but it only works if the application icon is on the first row. Otherwise, you don't have enough time to drag it, right? So you can... Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So here's what we need to do is, first off, my one comment, I love that they have Obama in the top right corner pointing out, like at you, like, I saw what you did.
I'm watching you. playing
But
on
I think you need to get the GNX out and test this.
right? Let's see. Is it really encrypting your files? I guess
Go to your favorite zoophilia site.
I'll do that.
Download
I'll
the
do
app.
that after the show, and we'll test because I have an SD card, right? So if I pop that out afterward and put it into a reader, I shouldn't be able to read anything if it's true encrypting stuff. But if not, then we know that it's really not.
It
Or
doesn't seem like
it's
to be
not
much of a,
encrypting SD.
it doesn't seem like to be as much a payoff on a phone with encrypting the data on there, since it's almost always backed up.
So maybe they're not. Maybe they're just playing off the fears of CryptoLocker, which made a bunch of money, like millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
So people automatically assume. Because they don't know how to boot into safe mode, as we learned earlier on the show. So yeah. Very good then.
Uplifting story.
Right? Give us a deal alert, Eric. The Pebble smartwatch, $120. Deal alert! Deal alert!
And I know we have some, college university students. The $30 education discount should still work for this too. So if you get it from Best Buy, that's $119 minus $30. By the power of math, that is $89.99, which is a hell of a deal because the original Pebble was a great watch. So, just looking out for you guys.
That's really nice of you. And I mean, the ideal. I heard on another show they had some kid that was in school, and he was talking about like in class, teachers really get angry when kids are looking at their phones all the time. He said he has the Pebble, and he can just like bust the quick glance and see, if the notification is something worth hiding your phone over or not. So I mean, ideally, college people would be a large demographic for them.
Yeah, it used to be $150 for that phone. Now it's $90. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
I mean, if I wore,
I love my Pebble.
You like it, right?
Oh yeah. I never wore watches before just because I don't like stuff touching my hands and my wrist. But I wear my Pebble. Like it's a really, really good device.
Howie Mandel over here.
Don't make fun of my neuroses.
That's cool. And they say Best Buy giving you free shipping to everyone and free in-store pickup in some locations.
Wow, free in-store pickup. That's a nice.
I know that's nice of them, right? Validating parking and all that.
Is it usually free to pick up?
No. Costs money.
Well,
Cover charge.
maybe that's what this virus is about. Maybe they just want pebbles. That's 3 pebbles right there.
Yeah. Speaking of that
Right there.
kind of stuff, did you see the Pwn phone? We kind of mentioned when I got back from DEF CON last year about the Pony Express, the little cool router thing that you could just like hook up and Pwn networks with. They have now a phone version, which is pretty awesome. So
Didn't they do this with a Nexus 7? Maybe the original one.
I think they had like software. Was it something that you actually plugged in?
It says here the
It's like a
2012 was
Pony
based on a Nokia one. Or no, sorry, Nokia.
Right. I thought it was something.
Regardless, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the picture they have looks like a Nexus 4, but I can't tell because it's got a little bit of a case on it. But the Wi-Fi adapter is kind of interesting. It connects via USB. That's pretty cool.
I didn't know that could work. That's
It
cool.
must be a Nexus. I'm guessing this is a Nexus 5 because there was a lot of
Because it says in the
issues with
article.
the Nexus 4. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Shane, before you get all mean, I'm just saying you couldn't do USB OTG on the Nexus 4. So
But you can on the Nexus 5, which is what this is. So that's
Got
cool.
it. Yeah,
I don't need to use my eyes. I can use my brain.
They said one of the benefits of the recompiled Android kernel they're using here is that the Pwn phone can act as a USB host just like PCs, which makes it possible to plug in this cool freaking antenna that they have for it. You can boost attack range and capabilities, which is awesome. And an Ethernet adapter which lets you just jack straight into the matrix. Just pwning things left and right. They say it can
this
handle.
sucker is
it's
really
awesome.
expensive though.
Well, yeah, but it's for the security professional who must pen test their network on the daily or other people's networks.
Not that expensive, $1,300.
Yeah, right?
Price of a laptop.
Developer, they're not that expensive. Just make an app and have 1 billion people use it. You can buy like 10 of these.
Maybe they'll have a $30 discount for college students.
I wish.
For pwning your college network.
Right, that's what it's for, right?
We have the Yale version, the Harvard version. That would be cool. I'd kickstart that shit.
Put your own college logo on there. Yeah, I can see that. There's a market for
The
this.
thing comes with a total of 103 network monitoring and attack tools preloaded. This is like the backtrack of like.
Yeah, the backtrack phone.
That's pretty cool, I think. 26 of which have been configured for launch by touch from the home screen. While all the tools run in a terminal window and have a character-based interface upon launch, some of the 26 touch-optimized tools require just one touch to execute. Just set it and forget it. Well, set it and then touch it and then forget it.
That's right.
That's awesome. I'm down with this. I kind of want one.
Now, did you say that you got to see this at CES?
No, I saw another version of. They also make like hardware routers and stuff. I saw that at DEF CON 2 years ago or last year. Yeah. But yeah, wicked cool. Ponex is awesome. That's what it was. It was the Pwn Pad, the Nexus 7. I remember now. It was the router thing, and then it was the pad. Thank you, reading the article. All right, let's talk about the OnePlus One again because Eric loves it so much.
It's a great price for a 64 gig phone.
Yeah.
It's a black. It's pretty sexy. I gotta say that. I mean, as far as hardware and stuff goes, in the term of like anamorphism and like saying that it's something, it's pretty sexy.
Did you smash your phone then, Eric?
Hell no.
He's about to
sell this and buy 2 of these.
Yeah, I wonder if this Oppo N1 is on that eligibility list like some of the other phones out there. That'd be ironic.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Okay, hold on. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'm gonna go bust my phone up. Actually, did they stop doing that because people got all pissed because they're like, oh, third world countries could use all those phones. So then they started like giving them away to charity or something.
Yeah, I think they're setting themselves up with like some sort of donation charity, but I don't remember the details. But yeah, donate your phone instead of smash it. Yeah.
They did not think that promotion through all the way.
Didn't we mention last week when we talked about like because they said you had to turn it on and prove that it was on, like people busting it up with batteries in it and then just exploding their batteries, right? I'm pretty sure we mentioned that last week.
They also said wait for an invitation, and that didn't quite work out either. So yeah.
You had me at smash. What
That's right.
I'm on it.
They really don't know the internet. Nobody reads the article.
Right. You just read the headline. The headline said smash your damn phone and get a free one.
It should have been donate. That way, worst case, people donate their phone prematurely, and it's not just smashing it prematurely. So.
Right. So Jared Peters on Talk Android said that to accommodate the demand for this version of the phone, they're slowing down the production of the 16 gig white model because nobody wants a white phone, except for iPhone people, I guess. Some of them have black ones too, though.
Yeah, and they put a case on it anyway, so yeah.
The dumbest. I want you to look at how gross my hands are.
That's right.
Via my phone. That I lick to clean the screen.
The white phone I have, I mow with it out in the mower and all that. It doesn't get dirty at all. So.
Well, that's got a polycarbonate shell as opposed to like one of the more glossy shells that like Samsung or whatever would come out with. So.
Sure.
Yeah, it's held up pretty good. Same with the wood back on the Moto X.
I bet that looks great with grass stains. I mean, that's like made in heaven right there.
That would be the perfect mowing the lawn phone, yeah.
They said the white silk models will continue to be manufactured, but the black sandstone is getting top priority for the first few months. They're looking at late May as a good release date for the initial batch of phones. Wide availability in June.
Yeah, you know, people were complaining about the whole invitation system, but really this is the same thing that happens with a lot of new phones. There's simply not enough phones out there to sell to everyone, so that they find a way to make it more selective. You think about the Moto X, the reason why it had a high price initially really was because they didn't have, you know, 3 million phones out of the starting gate to sell. You know, that's why you see phones at, you know, higher prices in the beginning, so on and so forth. You know, the Nexus 4 sold out in a minute because there weren't that many, so you know.
Made 10, and guess what? We sold out. Yay.
Yeah.
Eric, are you gonna get one of these, bud? You want a 1+1 there, buddy?
1 plus N1.
It's a nice phone.
Right?
Stop it. Just stop it.
One
I don't know.
plus-
I'm
1 plus
actually
N1.
quite happy with my N1. So I'll stick with it for a while.
Do a little algebra. Yeah.
I'll work with it for a
A
year.
while means the end of June.
When his contract is up, and he can get an upgrade. And when they,
Oh, there's no upgrade.
I see what.
Oh,
you're
we'll see. We'll see what happens with Google I/O and.
But can you smash that phone to get an invitation? That's the real
I
question.
couldn't find a list.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they would.
I still have my Smash. I still have my Smash Nexus 4.
You
When I
could
dropped
just
it.
you just smashed it again.
We could make like a fake BS, like send us your phone, we'll smash it, and then send you a new one thing. And then when we get people to send us all their phones, we'll just destroy them and then give them nothing.
This doesn't sound like a good idea.
We could do it once.
That won't end badly.
It would end awesome with a cool video of us smashing everybody's phone. How about wait till September when the One Mate Prime? What's up with these phones using the word Prime again? Remember the Nexus Prime, or so it never was?
No, I was gonna say no, I don't.
I like how they're bringing it back.
Transformer Prime.
Right, yeah, that did get it. But I remember when the first that Galaxy Nexus, I think, it was supposed to be like the Nexus Prime or something, and we were all like, yeah. Oh, we were dumb.
So what's the difference? I mean,
The
what
display.
makes it Prime?
Look
Bigger screen.
Oh Lord!
Look at that display. Quad HD, you need 4 eyes to even fully appreciate how amazing this display looks.
God, this is so stupid.
And a Snapdragon 805, which is better than the 800. I don't know.
Huh?
So that's cool.
Okay.
And a camera that is 18 megapixels.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And a 5 megapixel front. Ultra. Not just 5 regular pixels, guys. These are 5 ultra pixels. So that's like, you know, a bunch more regular pixels, right?
Some people really dig the ultra pixels because of the extra light you get. But,
Do they look better? Are the pictures legit?
you know, people think on the new HTC One M8 that it's pretty good, even though it's only a 4 megapixel camera.
Yeah.
The One M8 Prime. This is
Yeah.
just the M8.
Right. Just the M8 has ultra pixel technology. And with the better software, I guess it works pretty good.
Well, one of the things. Go for it.
I was gonna say, when you guys take pictures now, do you even worry so much about how it looks, or do you just trust Google Awesome?
Nope, I let
Awesome to fix
Google
it?
handle that shiz because I don't got time. I do not have time to be messing with that. I'm like, Google, fix this, and it's like, are these awesome? I'm like, yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, I just take a bunch of pictures, come back, an hour later, they're up on my Google Plus account. A bunch of them are enhanced, look good. Sometimes you get an animated GIF out of it. Sometimes you get a movie out of it. What am I,
I'll tell you, we did use that a lot when we were snowmobiling this winter because instead of like taking regular cameras and everything, we just took our phones. We took a bunch of pictures and video, and then rather than me having to go back after the fact and like go through all this footage and edit it, it just like did it. And every now and then you'd adjust something here and there, but for the most part, they were pretty right on.
Yeah, I've given up on the idea of taking home movies and editing them and then making DVDs. This is never going to happen. The new home movie is YouTube, right? That's where you put your home movies, and that's what we do.
The new home movie is lazy. You just let Google do it.
But it makes sense, right? All you're doing is something an algorithm can easily do. You're going through a bunch of crappy footage and finding the least crappy and presenting it in a not crappy fashion. I just wrote an algorithm.
Yeah, so do you guys remember, like, probably, I don't know if you're following, but Apple would always spend like a good chunk of their time on going over how you can make all the movies and iMovie and all that. And I don't think they've even talked about that in 2 years now.
Who does that? Unless you're getting paid to edit somebody else's footage, like nobody's doing that.
Right.
It's time consuming.
When people are happy with 7-second or 13-second clips, or just anything on their phone that you just throw it up on YouTube, that stuff just goes away. And now Google realizes that no one wants to do that work, and no one's going to do the work. The amount of videos, used to be you would take video on only special occasions. You gotta have this, you gotta get the right tapes. You gotta worry about how much battery you have. Then you gotta transfer it to another machine. That's always a big pain in the ass. And then you gotta find an editor. But no one is gonna do that anymore. Now you don't. It doesn't even have to be that special occasion. You can just take a video, and Google's way ahead of that. And so I think it's good that these cameras are spending time on the ultra pixel stuff, maybe improving the software a little bit. But the big gains are going to be in the cloud now.
Well, and of course, it's always better to start with as good of an image as you can, right? Same with audio, same with video, same with anything. I think like they have all this footage, right, on YouTube, like endless, infinite hours of footage. I think YouTube suddenly at some point became aware and was like, I'm sick of watching all this crap, I'm going to make it better, and it just did it, and they do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Apple try to catch up to Google on this in the next WWDC in a couple of months, because photo management on iOS and video management is dreadful compared to
Android. Do they have anything like that? Like, there's no infrastructure in place, like web-based?
They have iCloud, but they don't have all the other stuff.
Yeah, but see, iCloud is a misnomer, right?
That's storage, right?
Right, basically, but it's temporary storage, right? So I don't know about you guys, but you take pictures of your phones, your devices, it uploads them. You never think about it. You probably back them up again somewhere, but you don't have to worry about it wondering what machine it is, because you just go into your browser, bam, it's there.
Right.
On iOS, like it's just transferring files between machines. It's not really a cloud. You don't go up to iCloud and see all your pictures. They only store 1,000 pictures in iCloud at any one time, and that's
really?
it. Yeah. And so otherwise, it has to get downloaded to your machine. It's just to me, it's a cluster.
Well, see, that's why I like for having the 16 gig Moto X. I can go through it on the One Gallery app, not Photos, but like the actual Gallery app, and delete everything off of the phone and not have any of that crap. But then not worry that they're gone forever because they're still up in the Photos app, which I can see, the thumbnails, and then it'll obviously cache them to the phone if I want to go into them. But it's not taking up active storage on the device, which is awesome. And I don't have a 1,000 photo limit.
Yeah, I mean, I have 32 gig phones, and I never worry about filling it up with space or video. Even on Google Glass, it's pretty handy that it uploads all that stuff in the background too.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I like the fact that my photos go up to the cloud. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that like I could take a crappy photo and Google will magically make it look good, because the photos on my Nexus 4 look like crap. It wasn't until I got a nice camera on my phone that I really started to see the benefits of Google's behind the scenes stuff, because it was taking a good base and it was making it just a little bit better. It was making these little animated things. That was great, but on the Nexus 4, on a device that had a crappy camera, I didn't like taking pictures on my phone.
Right, I think the Nexus 5 is where they got the back-end cloud and the front-end camera in sync, and the new camera app is really good, I think.
The Google camera one?
Yep.
I dig the UI, for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's all jiggly. What, Eric? Complain about something, please.
No, I just said I think I have like 3 camera apps now. I'm not actually quite sure which is which.
He's got all the camera apps.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna disable the stock ones pretty soon.
Right? He's got like focal and paper camera and HDR camera and camera plus. He's got photo camera and
Camera? Yeah.
hey girl. Did you, before we talk about the Android Silver thing, we kind of talked about some rumors last week. We'll talk about that a little more. Do you guys want to talk about like what Facebook's doing with their whole app system and uncoupling these apps and making, you know, the Messenger app? I don't know if they're going to go so far as to make it like paper where it's really just the newsfeed or what have you, but trying to like Eric said, here's another camera app. Oh, this one's for Facebook. Here's another camera app. Oh, this one's for Google+, you know. I think, Shane, you want to start this off since you're the developer of the group here.
Right. So I think I've mentioned before we're developing an app. We have got a real beta version on the Apple App Store. And Apple's situation with handling developer beta programs is dreadful. But in any case, Facebook made a bunch of changes last week, and some of these are going to affect apps everywhere. And since people on Android seem to they'll try a lot of different apps and all that. There's some interesting changes they're making. I think they're really going to change the app universe for a long time. So the first one you mentioned, Eric or Matt, about how they're splitting their apps up, right? Because people don't want big monolithic apps, and Google, does a pretty good job of that, right? The Google Plus app's gotten a little heavy, but most of the time their apps are pretty well separated. We saw Drive and Docs and Sheets get separated just in the last week. But the biggest change that they're making in Facebook is they are basically keeping your social graph to themselves for the most part, starting with Facebook API 2.0, which starts in 1 year. Now, when you load an app, a lot of these social sort of based apps, you're probably pretty used to pulling in your Facebook friends, right? And then maybe you can communicate with them, maybe you can invite them. Starting next year on April 30th, 2015. You will not be able to pull in your full social graph when you hook it up to an app. You will only get the friends who have also authorized that app. So the changes is that where you were used to be able to import your social graph, it's your social graph, your friends into any app that connected to Facebook. You won't be able to do that from a year from now.
So that basically cuts down on the app's like organic shareability of sorts. Like you're only gonna get it with people that are already in the know about that app. You can't go and invite some random friend of yours that has never heard of it to get in and try it.
Exactly.
Through the app. I mean, you can send them, a post or something, but
right. And so even with those friends, you cannot get as much information about those people that you used to. Now that's not such a big deal. You won't be able to pull in their photos, their likes, and all that. But it is going to affect. I know personally, it is going to affect our app a little bit that we're releasing because it's a social-based app. But I think in the next year, there's two things that are going to happen. That could happen. One, that Facebook is just going to stomp out a lot of social apps that were based themselves off of Facebook. Right?
Are you talking the crap load, like my birthday, the crap that a lot of people just get the random invites to on the daily, and that you're always saying no? Or are you talking useful stuff?
Well, here's the one that has been blocked by Facebook. It's called Voxer. I think I used it. I think it had an apps pick one time. Voxer is a walkie-talkie app, right? And it enables you to kind of send voice messages, within groups and all that. And it depended on, bringing in your friends and then, inviting your friends to join Voxer so you can all use it. And that would no longer be possible in the future.
So you'd have to, go to email and be like...
Email and your contacts.
We're all going to try this, attach each right, okay.
Right. So that's going to make it a little. That's going to raise. There's a couple. It could really kill a lot of kinds of apps that we won't see in the future because it's too hard. Even games may not work that well if through Facebook because you won't get. You won't see all your friends. You can't invite them to your friends. It seems weird to me that I couldn't install an app. So I have a friend Jonathan. We play a lot. We like a lot of the same similar games. I find an app. I can't invite him through the app to play the game. That just seems weird to me. But that's what they're doing. They're closing the gate on the social graph, and they're keeping it to themselves. So I think
really a bad. I'll play the other side of it. Is that really a bad thing, though? It seems like a lot of that stuff is just like unnecessary crap that takes advantage of the fact that it was so open before. I don't think it ever should have gotten to that point. I get they had to build a platform, but a lot of that stuff is just junk. It's like
there's two parts to it though. There's your friends, who you are friends with, okay? And then there's their information. Now, it is completely reasonable to limit how much of your friends' information you can pull in, right? Because you know your friends, but they may not have given permission to give out their stuff.
Right, based on their settings, right? Now, is this something that they're going to monetize and say, if you would like access to this, you can pay us?
No, I mean they're all the API calls are going away. They're also cutting off the ability to tie into Facebook Chat as a third-party app. That's going away in a year or two.
Which is getting removed from the main app again.
Well, there used to be there's a way that your app can interact with Facebook Messenger, send messages to users, right? In our app, we use it as a replacement for SMS, basically.
Right.
It's not. It's just one way, just send quick messages. But they're not allowing it anymore. As far as I can tell, that permission is going away, and you will not be able to have your app hook into Facebook Messenger. Something they've done for years.
Is that because they're making it its own thing and getting rid of it from the main app, though? That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah. I suspect they don't want people using their back end and all that. So Facebook is essentially shutting down the open social graph. They want you to even their supposedly great idea anonymous login helps them. It doesn't help the developer. So I think you're going to see that people are, the WhatsApps. Companies like Uber and all that, they don't work off of your social graph from Facebook. They work off of your contacts list and your emails and your phone numbers. And you're going to see apps are going to be going back to that because I just don't think they're going to be able to get the they're not going to be able to generate the network effect from the limited Facebook graph that they have. Now, the good thing is it may limit the chances that Facebook will block your app because they're not giving enough information away anyway. But it's ironic that Facebook had an event talking about how they want to be a stable platform, but they're not really a platform now. They're just a walled garden. You can't build on top of them anymore, really. And I don't necessarily think all this data they gave away should have been given away, but they had other choices they could have made to make it reasonable for both.
You think
you own your social graph, you have the right to give it to an app. They did things like made it more granular. Like I can request a bunch of information about you, and then you could unselect it. I only get a certain amount of information, right? You didn't have to pass the app your friends list. You could say no, I don't want the app to have my friends, or you had options. They removed that. They said no, you're not going to get the user's friends at all. You're not going to get any information about them, and we're gonna close down this API. So it's really narrow. And
so what is their idea of the ideal thing that gets built on their new version then? Like, what are they expecting people to do with
I think they don't. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because
like what are the possibilities as a developer? Like, what would appeal to you when this new version comes out? Like, what can you do with it?
Honestly, I mean, you're gonna have game developers. They're gonna probably work off of Google Play or Game Center and iOS. They're not going to use Facebook. You're going to see people start looking at Google. I want to say Google Plus, but the Google your contacts in Google as your friends now. I mean, you're going to see people doing that more often now. I just don't know. I don't know what type of apps they expect people to build now. Honestly, not social. Anything social is going to be a lot harder to do now.
It seems like they've made moves that make them less relevant.
Yeah, and I mean, the story about how they're cutting off access to your friends list, it seems like no one's really talking about it. Everybody's saying, "Oh, anonymous login," or now they're getting serious. Now they're being adult. Now they're going to guarantee it for 2 years, and just left out the fact that they just cut off your social graph.
Their social graph.
Not your social graph. Your friends. You cannot send your friends to another app. And,
if they were truly your friends, you would have their address and write them a letter if it was that important.
Yeah, but they put they want you to use Facebook login to not mess with email address and passwords.
Right. They also wanted you to use Facebook as an email address. Remember that?
Yeah, they did kill that.
Worked out well.
Yeah, very.
They also wanted it to be the front end for your phone. They have a lot of plans that don't really fall through.
So remember that.
Yeah, so
Facebook Home, that was great.
Apps who've probably gotten a little lazy are going to have to be smarter, and I think you're going to see a rise in contact management because people's contacts are usually a mess, especially on iOS. You're going to see apps that you may see Google do a better job of getting your contacts out to users. You're going to see apps that clean up phone numbers and stuff like that, and we're either seeing a radical change in a negative way where Facebook kills a lot of apps, or we're going to see a lot of innovation in the next 18 months. I hope the latter. I know from our perspective, working around this, that we feel we've made our app better by working around Facebook's future limitations. So we'll see. But that's a story coming out of F8 that I don't think most people talked about. I think the anonymous login stuff seemed to get the headlines.
Nice. Eric, what are you going to do with your Facebook app? With your Candy clone?
Would never even go there. I just personally dislike the Facebook platform overall. Like I don't log into Facebook. I just don't like it. So the fact that they are becoming less relevant, I'm happy with that. But I don't know. It seems like a dumb move on their part. I really don't see what they plan to get out of this, because just closing themselves off like that, and like Shane said, you're cutting people off from. You're not giving them the choice, which I know Google gets criticized a lot about, because you install an app and then it's like 1 billion permissions. Do you want to give these permissions? And it can get really confusing and people don't read it. But at the end of the day, it's my choice. So, yeah. I really don't have too much of an opinion on it outside of that.
This Facebook website sucks, by the way.
While you're at it.
It's broken. That's basically it.
Really? I don't know. I guess I use it more on the phone and tablet than anything, but when I go to the site, it's to post that we're doing shows and stuff, and to use the page thing, and that works really well. It's easier to switch accounts real quick in there then. But I don't know.
Okay. Facebook also got people like you and people running organizations hooked on Facebook pages, and now no one sees your posts.
52 people saw my last post, Shane. You shut up.
Out of how many?
Out of 58. No, I don't know. Out of like 400.
Yeah, and that's very high. Most people are seeing 1 to 3% of their audience will actually see the post. But you can pay for it. You can get it in front of eyeballs if you want to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so, how many people can afford, other than large corporations, afford to constantly promote every single thing they post? So if you're a podcast that's using Facebook pages, worthless now. Probably not even worth your time.
It's good to know, because I'm totally done posting on it then.
You can try doing a Facebook community. Those have better rates.
Like a group?
Yeah, a group. Then people see what you post, I think.
Because they have to, get into the group. That's a pain in the ass. I'm not even. You know what? I'm done with it.
Well,
We'll
Shane, just
do
thinking about what you said.
Read it, and that'll be enough. What, Eric?
Thinking about what Shane said of how he can see that, maybe Google will make their contact system, maybe they'll make it better to where you can weed out the huge mess that is most people's contact lists. If that happens, what happens to Facebook? Because I know for a lot of people that have stopped using it, they still keep their account because Facebook is their address book. Facebook is how they manage all this information. So if every other address book out there gets better, what's Facebook's purpose?
It's where your real friends are.
Yeah, I don't know. Facebook will peak, and we probably won't know when. It just feels like we're at the point where Facebook is just boring. Like they don't do anything exciting, and people don't post very interesting stuff. I mean, I'm on Facebook a lot for 15 to 20 people.
Yeah.
And I would love them to be on G Plus for a lot of reasons, but I've even had to rethink what I think about Google Plus and social networking in general because, I think people are bored with all social networking, to be honest.
Is it time to go back outside and do real networking? Is that
I
what
think
you're
it's
saying?
time to get back to blogging. I think it's time to get back to mailing lists. I'm completely sincere about this.
Take
Try
it
and look.
back. I agree. Yes, we could have a BBS instead. You'll go to it.
IRC chats.
It'll be an Apache page with a list of MP3 links, and that's it.
One of my
That's my job a lot easier.
One of my picks from a few weeks ago called Slack. All right, it's an amazing communication tool and all that. That is that would be. I mean, it's not meant to be federated or anything like that, but that's a much better interface for groups of let's say you could set up a Slack interface for your podcast, Matt. It's a much better interface and way to communicate with people than Facebook. But Facebook has the problem that every social network will always run against. If you have gazillions of gigs of data, how do you not swamp the user with stuff they don't want? And frankly, I don't think Facebook does a particularly great job. They have a different definition of the word recent than the dictionary does, so recent doesn't mean recent because they're trying to get stuff up there. But
It means algorithmically recent.
yeah, it doesn't mean recent.
But isn't that why you have to go to where all the people are, so you have to just hit all the major ones, basically? If you're doing something that you want other people to see, you have to put it on a Facebook page and a regular Facebook account and repost it and tweet it and Google Plus it and all that. Blog about it. The more that it's out on the internet just living, the more it has a chance of being seen.
But actually, now stuff has a less chance of being seen on Facebook. And the longer you use Twitter, the more people you follow it tends to be, the harder it is to find stuff that doesn't fly by. You can't search for stuff on Facebook. How would you go back and find another post that you might have seen? It's impossible.
It's not used that way, though, I feel like. I never search for stuff on there. I'll search for stuff on Twitter or Google Plus, obviously, being linked to Google and having, page and authorship and everything. Like, I see the purpose of posting on Google Plus more than Facebook, I guess, but Facebook is where all the people are. So it's like you got to find that.
Right.
That
it's like, you're right. So you have 10,000 people, right, all following 1,000 different things, but only a small percentage of them are getting anything. So the more you use Facebook, the more people use Facebook, and the more you use Facebook, the less people will actually see your stuff. That's what's happening.
That's the problem. Like, when in history has that ever been something we've had to, try and figure out a way to fix? That's a crazy, weird problem.
No, I mean, there's
data. Not hours in a day, right?
Well, I mean, it happened in TV, right? The more TV channels you get, it's harder to find an audience. Radio, the more radio stations you have, you don't get TV shows having 70 shares anymore like they used to. So yeah, I don't know what the problem is, but unfortunately, at some point, Facebook could. I'm not gonna say Facebook is doomed.
Explode.
But at some point,
explode.
I mean, at some point though, it's just
Well,
how
there
much
is a
time.
there is a
how
law
much
of
time-
diminishing. There's a law of diminishing returns, and with more competition, you're right. They can't. You can't reach out to as many people on any one platform. So I guess really maybe the answer is to just get on as many platforms as you can to combat that.
Yeah, man, but you can't. How far? I think you have to. You somehow have to somehow establish a brand and bring people to your own site. So
That's Google search then, right? Like
It could be.
Kelsey's dog training business gets way more physical, like real world business from its website, from people searching and using Google Places and local, and narrowing it down that way than anything on Facebook, or I guess she doesn't really use Twitter like that, and that's all just search. That's like plain straight up google.com search. That's where it comes from. That's what you're saying, right? You should just have your website and get good at search and bring people in that way and say F social media.
Well, I can tell you that a lot of people I know who run the Skeptic blogs and Skeptic podcasts and all that, they don't get as much. It's very rare that a tweet or a Facebook post gets you a lot of traffic. Now, I've gotten retweets from people who have 50,000 followers and all that. I mean, that's happened now and then, and you get maybe 10 or 20 people who even look. I mean, it's just social media is very hard to do, and we can bring this.
That's interesting you say that about the skeptic sites and stuff. I just listened to the SGU, and they had the girl from I Effing Love Science, that Facebook page. They had her on the show.
They used to steal content.
What's that?
She used to steal content without credit.
And then post it, really?
Yeah,
But
for years she did that.
Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. But she was talking about how it got big to the point where when she would post something of somebody's, it would like crash their site. Like she had like over millions of followers on that page, and like the stuff she was posting is getting seen. I mean,
right, but what's 1% of a million? What it hurts is if you're 1,000 people or 500. Now, if I had
where we're at, it hurts when you're where we're at. A few years in, just trying to make it up.
Right. So if you didn't get in early enough and get those million users, you will never be able to generate enough of an audience to ever get to them. You're not going to come up. I mean, not you specifically, but it's very hard to get to 1 million organically on Facebook. And
that's funny you say that. I always thought that 2006 was the time. Like if you didn't start a podcast up to 2006, if you started after that, there was no way you were going to make any money doing it. All of the shows that started 06, they are the ones that kept at it. Like they're the ones that are making the money now. It's weird.
unless you're like an Adam Carolla and had
unless you have a built-in audience, right?
Right. So, examples are, there's another podcast I won't list, but all the people on it are well known in the Apple community. So they create a podcast and boom, they instantly have listeners and
audience.
audience.
One on iTunes, right?
Yeah. And so if they were starting out, they weren't right. So it's very hard. And I mean, Matt, I had my own podcast in the libertarian movement. I started out maybe even a little too late for that. It's hard with social media and all that to build up those numbers if you didn't get in early enough or you're not already famous. I mean, even when I have my podcasts reposted on like Reason.com, which is a big libertarian thing, we get a bunch of hits, but it wasn't,
they're not translating to anything. If you look at your Google Analytics, everyone's on the page for like a minute maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe not quite that bad, but I'm just saying I probably got featured on Reason.com 5 times, maybe we were listed on there.
You should be famous by now then.
Yeah, there's a picture of me on there somewhere at a TAM when Reason was at TAM. So, the reason why Facebook has realized this, I think, that their cash cow is probably peaked, and that's why they're breaking everything into these apps. So WhatsApp is 19 billion. That's why Secret, for some reason, I don't understand it, is huge. That's why hopefully our app will become huge because we're not a social network app.
I think I go to Facebook more lately to like troll my religious friends. I've been finding myself, and I admit that is a terrible thing to do. I can't help
Have religious friends?
I can't help myself. Well, yeah, that I guess, but like to troll them, like I just saw like a wave of just this things like just stupid things, right? Where like a buddy of mine had cancer and then he got free of cancer, and a bunch of posts were like, "Oh, we've been praying for you, thank God," and I have to go on there and like be like, "Actually, you should thank this and this and that," just for no reason. That's kind of what Facebook has turned into for me. And yeah, I have no idea how we're talking about this now. Oh, because I was just looking at Facebook while Shane was talking, and I saw one, and I almost said something rude. See, I can't even touch that stuff anymore.
He's agitated.
I think micro social network apps are going to be the future.
Like Path, Dunbar's number, 150 people, done.
No, Path is like Facebook, but with 150 people.
Right. But I mean something with a niche network.
Go to groupupapp.com. That's an app that we're talking about. That's an app you should. If you had an iOS device, you should download.
App.net?
Groupupapp.com.
Oh.
I'll second your idea, Shane, that if there's some way that Slack can, if you could take the Slack model and translate it into something that works for like podcasts, like it's a beautiful website, app, everything.
Is the federal government using it now?
I'm not using it in a professional sense.
Squarespace or something. I mean, like you can get your show on Stitcher, you can get your show like wherever. You just have to be in a bunch of places. So you're saying this thing is just like a website that runs as an app?
Oh, no.
Access by?
No, Slack is a... I don't know how to describe it because it's pretty unique in the way it does. But
a scraper?
No. It's like IRC. IRC has pretty much stayed the same since it was invented.
I like IRC for that specific reason.
So it basically, it's like an interactive, you can post, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like a more interactive social network. It replaces email, replaces your internal company social Yammer or whatever what you're using.
I like email. Is this for company stuff then?
Well, we use it as a company, but you could probably use it for personal stuff if you want. It costs money. I mean, they're not giving.
Yes, Matt Lee. What am I paying for this? Like, what am I getting for this? Why am I paying for it?
Well, you wouldn't want to pay for it now for anything. I'm just saying they have created software that you could see being changed and modified to support, kind of like Google Plus communities type things. Right. I mean,
well, it's free. I mean, I'm using it for free.
What are you doing with it, Eric? Really?
And so I used it because I have a buddy of mine who's starting up a company, and I'm helping him with stuff. So we were checking out all these social collaboration platforms because, we're all in different countries. And the way Shane described it is, pretty accurate. It's like it's a very pretty IRC in a sense, but you can also do really easy sharing of documents. When I think collaboration platform, like outside of the typical buzzword, where somebody's trying to sell you on Yammer or Office 365 or something like that, this is truly a collaboration platform.
Better than Drive? I mean, why aren't you just using Drive for that?
Because it's much better than Drive.
Because it's prettier.
No, it's more useful because if I'm working on a particular project, I can create a channel.
It's actual project management. It's not just opening docs for.
No, you can plug in RSS feeds. Like it depends on what you're doing.
Okay. You know what? I don't even care anymore.
Oh well, fine. I mean, this is an Android podcast.
Write an article about it.
If you work on a team where you have to communicate, send emails, send pictures, send files, do hangouts, it will change. It will change your company. It'll change your productivity a lot.
That's cool. Is that your app pick? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Did you guys
derail.
know that CyanogenMod M6, 11 M6 came out?
Is it awesome?
I don't know.
Is that
It's
your app?
stable. No,
I
it's
have
not my
Cyanogen-
app pick. It's not an app.
I have Cyanogen on my Nexus 5. How do I get it to update?
Well, you can go to settings, about phone, and CyanogenMod updates, and it'll find it automatically.
I have system updates.
Yes.
Nope, like this. Let's see if I can. See,
That-
CyanogenMod updates.
Is that an Oppo?
It's my AotA and
Oh, well,
one.
that's a different phone then.
Shouldn't matter.
It's CyanogenMod, for God's sake. Look, see, it's saying, oh, you have updates, and I downloaded them.
It's under settings, and then it's just.
Settings, and then scroll all the way down to About Phone, and you should have a CyanogenMod updates option.
No,
If you don't, maybe your version's different.
CyanogenMod update option. Right click on
I
property.
installed it from the. I installed it from the Windows installer.
I don't know.
You send me the exe.
Did you try rebooting into safe mode?
Is your phone locked, and do you have to pay money to unlock it?
Are you
now?
guys just, you guys don't know they put out they have a desktop installer?
No, they do. I just have never used it.
I just wanted to see what it was like, so I just tested it out. Actually, I used the OS 10 version, but I don't
right.
have it.
Nick's
I don't
falling
have that.
asleep. Let's do some app picks and wrap this up. Eric, please give us an app pick that's not CM11.
Okay, so my app pick is Slack. No, it's not Slack.
I already did that one.
My app pick. Shut up, Shane. It's Ancestor. God, this show is just ridiculous tonight.
Did you say
Ancestry? Yeah, I started doing.
Did your phone lock after you installed it?
No, I am serious. This is cool. I signed up for the free trial of Ancestry.com just because I wanted to see how far back I could go. And since I'm going to be living near Europe, or on the edge, I was thinking, hey, maybe I can look up some old relatives when I'm in the neighborhood. The website's really cool, and I found that the app was in some ways better than using the website. It's very pretty. You can add relatives. You can search through documents. You can do everything that you're doing on the website, but you can do it from your mobile. So it's just very nice. If you're using Ancestry.com, you should definitely get this app. And I don't know, maybe you can try the free trial and see if you like it.
How far back did you go?
On one side of my family, I've gotten back to the 1630s.
Okay.
So it's.
Were you lords, like in Game of Thrones? Did you guys have dragons?
I'm guessing not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell.
I got back to the 1300s.
Did you have
Oh,
wizards?
God.
Did you burn witches? Did you have ancestors that burned witches, Shane?
No, they're just mostly poor Irish dirt farmers.
Nice.
And some
Like
Belgian
in
dirt
the
farmers.
show Hell on Wheels, did they build the train tracks?
No.
All of my reality comes from television. That's a cool app pick, Eric, if you want to trace your roots.
I found out that my great-great-great-great-grandfather was a one-eyed coal miner from Pennsylvania, so that's cool. And I did it all through the app.
I found out my ancestors were rich, and now I'm rich, and all thanks to this app. All right, Nick, give us an app pick, please.
Well, I will say my wife, she uses the websites, the Ancestry, other websites. I'm going to have to see if she uses any phone apps for that. So that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, we're apparently related to a lot of political people that I don't really care about because I'm not very political. Anyways,
Some asshole named Abe Lincoln. I don't know.
yeah, who's that guy? So Kennedy, anyway, so my app pick is actually something I planned on picking a long time ago, completely forgot about. I use it infrequently, but it's a little browser called Puffin, and one of the things I like about it, well, the main thing I like about it is it's really fast. It's got a Flash support as well built in. A lot of us, we use Chrome, and there's no Flash support. So some sites don't work properly, or, Flash games, don't work. But with this, you can actually, play videos. They also have like a theater mode. So if you want to play these Flash videos, you'll actually make it full screen, and you can also play some of those Flash games full screen. But it's very fast. It has high compatibility with HTML. It's got like a 450 or 460 on the HTML5test.com website, and it's pretty cool. But the main advantage is that it's really fast. And so if you do a lot of browsing on the web, this is something you would use to basically, speed up, page load times and the way it renders and stuff like that. It's really fast. And a lot
is it faster than Opera? Because that's like what I usually go to if I just want to like read something real quick. Opera's wicked fast, faster than Chrome.
I did a number of browser-based benchmarks a few months ago, including this, Opera, Firefox, Chrome Beta, and a couple other browsers I can't remember offhand. And this was consistently either number 1 or number 2 in the tests in terms of rendering pages or in running these benchmarks. Consistently, it was probably number 1 more times than any of the others. But yeah, so it's very fast. It's noticeably faster than some of these other browsers. So, but it's called Puffin. There's a free version you can play with and download and try it out. And but there's also a pay-for version, which is like $1 or $2, and that's actually the one that I use now. So,
Good
and that's
deal.
it.
Right on. All right, Shane, snap pick.
Okay, so for our listeners who live in Tornado Alley, like I do, there's an app by the tvnweather.com guys. It's called Live TVN Weather Live Storm Chasing, and it's an app that you can go on there, and they have usually on active storm days that you'll see this Thursday, people streaming their tornado chases from their cars, and you can view it onto your phone. And
That is so cool.
I like to know how they get service in some of these places, but it's pretty cool. I've only been able to use it on one day of storm chasing last week. It seemed to work pretty good. Viewing depends a lot on the streamer, where they are, what service they are is. But in general, these tornado streamers, I have watched tornadoes form on the ground through these storm chasing ones. And so, for me personally, I like it because if a lot of storm chasers are collecting near where I live, then I know I really have to watch out. And in some cases, if they're in the area, I can see what the storm is looking like. Pretty good. I actually live in Missouri, not Kansas. But
Where are these people streaming to? Like, where's this app picking up the feeds from? Or are these actual news reporters?
No, these are I'm not exactly sure where they stream to, but they all stream to a central service somewhere, and then that gets streamed back out.
Nice. I've always wanted to be a storm chaser ever since Twister.
Yeah. If you guys remember, it's been about almost a year. Those 3 guys who got killed that were well known, that were actually on TV for being Tim Samaras, Paul Young, and the son. I can't remember the son's name. After that, I had zero desire to go storm chasing because it's very, very, very dangerous, as it turns out.
Isn't that the point? I mean, you have to know that, right, before you go into.
Yeah, but let me example. Last week, it actually made the national news. There was a gust of wind where I live at 58 miles an hour, which I guess is a big deal. Actually, it was 58, blew the wind thing off of it. It was measured at 58, and at that point blew it off. So maybe it was into the 60s. But you're not near a tornado, but 60-mile winds blew trees over, blew some semis off the road, power lines were down. I mean, it's dangerous even when you're not in a tornadic storm. So it's easy to get caught in a bad spot. So it's dangerous, and not for me. I'll just watch it on my phone.
Much safer.
Much safer, and frankly, if you're there, you're probably looking everywhere but the tornado at some point, wondering where the debris is being thrown at. Hunkering down in your vehicle, you probably don't even get to watch it sometimes.
All right, I got an app pick. It's if you guys are watching the Cosmos show, as I'm sure all of you are, they've released a partner app, a companion app of sorts. It's pretty awesome. I installed it last night after we watched the show, or kind of while we were watching it, and it has the world's, the universe calendar thing. It has a bunch of cool stuff, but yeah, check it out. It's the Cosmos app. It's made really well, actually. I was kind of skeptical downloading an app from the app developer Fox Broadcasting Company, but it is Cosmos. It's Seth MacFarlane. It's my man Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, come on. It doesn't get much better than that. So check it out, Cosmos. It's an app. It's awesome. So there you have it. Eric, what is our email address? Let's say it slow.
Our email address is show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Yay! That's our website, attackoftheandroids.com. We're on Stitcher, we're in iTunes, anywhere we are, and you can review us. Review us. It just takes a sec. And it will help other people find us amidst all of the other BS that's out there, except on Facebook.
But we're not on Slack, so don't go look. Don't look. It's not there.
That's right. I mean, you could look. You could ask, but...
I mean, go ahead, look, but it's not there.
Okay. What if... Never mind. TagTheAndroids.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Yats. And next week again, Tuesday, for this thing. So, have a good night.
Bye.